Hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. We
Hello,
are
hello.
back with another developer stream here for World of Tanks Modern Armor. I am Tankz0rz, and we have Mr. Bam1500 with us. How are you, Mr. Bam?
I am doing well. It has been a very busy, well, I was going to say week, but it's always been very busy the past several weeks. So we got a lot of content coming, a lot of big plans. So, and we're always here to talk a little bit about that upcoming content.
Awesome. It's always good to hear. And I'm sure that is why our players are here too, because they want to hear everything World of Tanks related. So let's go ahead and kick things off with news of World of Tanks this week, Mr. Bam.
News of World of Tanks. So we are still in the Valiant season, and this will, of course, run through April 11th. So keep working on those season challenges, everybody. Hope you're enjoying some of the rewards offered as part of the Valiant season and a lot of the content that is included, of course. As of this week, we also, I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself here. We have our challenge up, the community challenge for Road to Swamp. I'd actually like to ask the community, not to community contributors, our community team, let me know what our current completion rate is looking right now. Because this will be running and we will release the map until completion or March 14th, whatever comes first. So in any case, let's continue working together as a community. Let's bring this map back to rotation. And yes, the Swamp map will be made available both in World War II and Cold War, all eras. But I have yet to get myself up to speed as to where we are currently at on the completion in the game. I'll have to check in on that a little bit later. But like I said, keep doing what you guys do best, destroying tanks and earning points. That will bring the Swamp map ever closer to release. Okay, KB is seeing we're nearing 13 million we've seen. Could have gone past that. All right. And yeah, Burnsy, 13,089,368. Fantastic.
Awesome. Great work, everyone. Keep it up.
Over the halfway point. And then this week, we also released our new tank, the Alt Proto AMX-30. This is a Tier 8 French medium tank that comes with a lot of great mobility and reliability as well. So if you haven't gotten your chance to get your hands on this new tank, like I said, it is available in stores now. Check it out in the store tab. On the subject of the Alt Proto AMX-30, if you guys are still waiting out, let's say if you're out there with us in the stream, 2 lucky winners might have a chance to get themselves a Alt Proto AMX-30. What do you say, Tankz0rz?
Oh, I like that idea. Let me get that link handy for everyone here. Go ahead and enter into chat if you would like to win your very own Alt Proto MX30 here. As always, enter in your Wargaming ID and you'll be eligible for all of our giveaways for the rest of the day. And that is it.
There you have it. Okay. We'll announce those winners shortly. Community map. I feel like a broken record. We talk about this one quite often, but it's a very exciting feature, and we love working with you, the community. We have brought this map back exclusively in custom games. So if you guys have not had a chance to check out the map, go into the custom games game mode menu, and you will see if you filter out, I believe right now we have it set to an urban camo. So you will have to change the map settings to an urban, and you will find the community map that is as it is listed in the map list. And you'll have a chance to try it out yourselves. It is still very much work in progress, very much placeholder assets that you will see in there. That allows us on the design and the level design team to rearrange however we see fit, or that you, the community, deem that certain play spaces don't really work well, or we're starting to see some weird misbalances. That allows us to kind of shift the map around before we do any sort of art polish passes and determine like the final aesthetic visuals of what the map will look like. So help us and continue playtesting this map. Let us know what you guys think. We are collecting feedback on a lot of our socials. I do chime in once in a while to our Discord. We do have a channel that KB set up on everything community map related. And we'll pick out some comments. We grab some feedback and we put that into our internal tickets just for reference if we ever need to go back and think about some development ideas for the map. Along the same lines, if you were not made aware, we have eliminated the resupply costs to the custom games. So this is more effort and more removing that friction for you guys to come on into the custom games, check out the community map with no cost to you at all, but your time.
Awesome.
And I think I mentioned this before. We will try to set up a like a play test of some sort. I just need to work with the team. See if we can schedule some sort of live stream and we can host a lobby of some sort. I'd be more than happy to join in and play some matches with the players. We'll probably get some more on the dev team as well included. So yeah, more news to come on that in the future. And oh, here we go. Tankz0rz is sharing some imagery right now.
Yeah, I forgot we had those ready to shoot from last week. But yeah, interesting stuff.
Okay.
What else is on the docket here?
Contracts. Who's been looking forward to the Lawgiver? This one came back last week. So if you haven't had your chance to get yourselves the Lawgiver tank, it is available now in the contracts. So if you don't have something currently signed, check out the Lawgiver. And then the Name Your Price, where you can pick a multiplier of your choice. This, however, cannot be changed after you make your pick. So, and it's just for the single week, but you will have your selection if you want a bit of a boost in your Commander XP, do you want more of a boost in your silver earnings, or perhaps just directly into your tank XP. So pick your choice, pick your multiplier, and you complete tasks in battles to get those multipliers applied to whatever one you chose.
Awesome, awesome.
And that is our wrap of content and updates, at least of this past week. I think before we move into next week content, let's announce our winners. Who's getting the Alt Promo AMX30, Tankz0rz?
How many of these tanks are we giving away?
Let's pick out 2 lucky winners.
Alrighty. Let's go ahead and choose 2 lucky winners then. You know the drill. We do a little bit of a download here. So bear with me 1 second. We have lucky winner number 1 and lucky winner number 2.
Oh, we got them. We got them picked.
We got them. And the winners are, oh, wow. Awesome. Patton, 456825. Congratulations, Patton. And
congratulations.
A loaded cycle. So congratulations to you too. I know that person's name comes up in chat often. So
I was gonna say I know a loaded cycle.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Congratulations.
Nice to see you winning there, buddy.
Fantastic. And we do have a few more giveaways, but we'll get there quite shortly. Up next, I don't know if anyone's already chimed into the chat. I'm trying to keep an eye out, but you might be wondering what's going on in this picture behind me. You might be trying to squint and make out what is this vehicle or object sitting back there.
So you squint your eyes real hard.
You might be able to pick it out. Is it actually a tank? Is it it could just be a bunch of blocks all kind of put together, huh?
Not sure. Could be maybe a cat. Why don't we go ahead and show the players what's behind your curtain here.
Let's lift the curtain.
I think I have something to show them here. Maybe it's a world premiere of sorts.
World premiere, one might say.
All right. Well, let's roll the tapes then.
Roll the tapes.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Look at that speedy Viesel 1A1 tow coming to Cold War. And now you can see a look. Whoop, here we go. You just got a shot there. Now you can get a better look at the Viesel sitting there behind me. I kind of wiped the screen down a little bit to clear it up, clear the picture up a bit.
Awesome, awesome.
So yes, this very fast Weasley Viesel 1A1 tow tank coming to Era 3. That is a Detente era Western Alliance tank destroyer. And did we mention that this is the first ATGM only vehicle to grace Cold War? There is no regular shells. There's no barrel to fire. It only fires missiles. As always, we will have some more details to share after the stream. But this little, and I say it's a very small tank for Era 3, and very quick. Get used to trying out the clutch to do a very quick e-brake and turnaround in the game. You can get in and out of a battle very quickly, and it is a lot of fun. We've been playing that one a lot in the internal play tests. I know a certain producer who would stick with that tank every time.
Mr. Jukes? Is it Mr. Jukes?
It might be a Mr. Jukes.
Okay.
And I fear him when he is roaming the field with that tank.
That's funny.
All right. So, to debut the Viesel 1A1 tow, let's start a giveaway here for one lucky winner to have a chance at getting themselves the Viesel 1A1 tow when it releases next week.
Awesome. Awesome. Let's go ahead and drop the link in chat again just in case. And you'll be eligible for this wonderful little... When we say little, it's little, but it's fast, yeah.
The Weasley Viesel.
Alrighty.
Okay. Who here has been looking forward to the re-release or return of the Valkyria Chronicles tanks? They are finally back, and just like all of our licensed content, we can never guarantee when they will be back into the store or back to purchase or unlock. So these contracts will eventually run out, so get them while they are available coming next week. And this time, if you do already own the tanks, use them in battle and you will be rewarded with additional XP and silver.
That's actually, that's pretty neat. I like that.
A little addition.
Mm-hmm.
And then String Theory, a challenge op that's been in the game for many years now. This is another fan favorite. String together wins. The more consecutive wins you get, the higher XP earnings you will get for each battle. This is also coming back for just the week, starting next week. So look forward to String Theory coming back. And then we mentioned last week that there's a new premium contract starting. This one will be for the Legion 59 Patton. And then also next Wednesday, this is International Women's Day. And to celebrate, you can find a brand new commander, Mary the Mechanic, being added along with even more in our in-game store. Now, we have, I think we have some sort of render to show the players today for Mary the Mechanic, do we not?
We do.
There she is.
She was hiding from me. I like her little pose there. Looks pretty neat.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, we will also have Commander XP to free XP conversion bonuses, where 1 gold will bag you a total of 32 free XP, as well as Commander skill respec costs will be 50% off, as will Commander skill swaps as well. And then lastly, K9 Veterans Day coming March 13th, just a little ways away, starting from March 10th to honor our K9 friends who served. We've got Zarek and Jan Kos commanders available to earn. Plus, they'll be available in store alongside the T-34-85 Rudy tank. So look forward to all of that. And that is a wrap on our upcoming content for Tuesday. Hopefully there was something there you guys really heard and was really looking forward to. And, you know, more content always to come as well. But beyond all that, I think it's time we go into our shout-outs segment of the stream, where we thank and give people some recognition for their amazing battle feats. And as always, everyone that we make mention of here will be receiving confidential key cards. Okay, are we ready to roll on this? There we go. Starting off in the K91 tank, we have Pio Derka with the max damage in a single battle, 7,301. And Gunchi Owl, 998809, max combined assisted in a single battle of 8,948. Congrats to you two. In the Object 430, we have GNS Reborns with a max kills in a single battle of 10. Raid Gast 12CZ with a max damage in a single battle, 10,535. And then we have Battlefields Fieldzik with max combined assisted in a single battle of 8,013. Congrats to you three. Then we have in the Object 430U, Aujul Madama with max kills in a single battle of 9. Dower Chest, max damage in a single battle, 8,203. And then T-Peck Top 968 with max blocked damage. Single battle, 8,110. Again, that was all three of you achieved that in the Object 430U. Congratulations. And then next in the AMX 13105, we have Lewis 333 Double with the max double in a single battle of 9,533. NP 3009 with a max combined assisted in a single battle, 11,586. Very good. And Spectronic with a max XP earned in a single battle, 2,080. Congrats to you three. And then lastly here in the Magak 7C, Camille 05 Dog with max damage in a single battle, 16,486. Astounding. Easy Money 429 with max combined assists in a single battle of 11,228. And Adamido with max blocked damage in a single battle, 17,985. That guy is just a wall. That's a lot of blocked damage.
That's a lot of blocked damage.
And then up next, our fun stats for Metal Showcase here. First up, we have Harmtail 13 in the E100, White Tiger 88 in their Jagdpanzer E100, and Papa Snowdog in the Leopard 1 for all earning the Kolobanov's medal by standing alone against 5 enemy vehicles and winning. Astounding. And then up next, Spartan N7 Neck in the Grill 15, Patroli also in the Grill 15, and Killing Kebab in the Panzerkopf 7 for all earning the Pools medal by destroying 10 to 13 vehicle enemies in a single battle. Very amazing, everybody. And to top it all off, we got to go over and, of course, make our shout-outs to our milestone users who've crested amazing crested a huge number of battles into our game. First up here, we have Hunter Fro Prometeo, Bernie T91, and Spax Mott PL for all reaching the incredible 100,000 set of battles. And then we have NIN60 Kai, Evilist Curve, and Transformer 565 for hitting their 110,000th set of battles. Congratulations to you all. Amazing. We really appreciate you all sticking around with us. And as always, that's a lot of battles.
That is a lot of battles indeed. And congratulations to everyone who made it onto our weekly shoutouts list. I think we have a winner to announce here, don't we?
We have our first Viesel 1A1 winner.
Alrighty.
This will be our very first user to get their hands on the new tank coming up next week.
And our winner is SWFC Ricardo. Congratulations. You are our first winner here today.
Congratulations.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, okay. So this is we like to cover this on a weekly basis because this comes up from player requests. They want to know, and we understand that there's a lot of players out there with unsportsmanship like qualities, or they are team killing, pushing you off of cliffs, or maybe even sending messages. We get it. It's the video game community sometimes cannot be so kind or fair. And we do our best. We do understand that this is frustrating to players, and we do have our in-game report system. And you'd like to know, like, is this actually meaningful? Is this impactful? Is Wargaming doing something about this? Because you see this and encounter some toxicity in the gaming community. And yes, we are here for you guys. We want to do our best to help mitigate this kind of toxicity. So I'm here to say that, you know, the number of bans based on the in-game reports that you guys send us, we have put 26 sanctions of variant ban links on users, but no permanent bans just this past week. So we are keeping an eye out. It is a manual process. We do have our customer service representatives who go through all these reports and make sure these are legitimate, or they are reasonably there's reason to warrant a ban to these. So thank you all for using our in-game report feature. We will continue to provide some feedback and, you know, continue to help grow this community in a positive light. Along the same lines, clans, we are very aware of some insensitive names of clan tags, etc. We brought this to attention last week as well. If anybody ever sees clan tags that might be insensitive or offensive in some certain ways, you know, you are also welcome to use our in-game report feature. TKane has also volunteered if you were unable to use the in-game report system for whatever means, but you have evidence via screenshot or in-game video footage showcasing some clan tags, he'd be more than happy to help vet these as well. As of last week, 51 clans were renamed this week, while a total of 5 were entirely disbanded. And then lastly, Super Test. Who out there has been having any interest in joining our Super Test community, where you, the players, can help join in on some early feature and content testing ahead of its release? We on the dev team are very close with the super testers. We send out a lot of surveys. We have them test our upcoming and new content all the time. And we get a lot of feedback and action items from the feedback to know whether we need to make some adjustments, improvements, nerfs, buffs, etc. Based on this. They are very integral into making sure our game and content is very secure and a very that we know it's going to go out there in the live environment and be appreciated by the full players, the full community of players in the World of Tanks Modern Armor community. And with that all said, we have applications open, and they are still open for Super Test. So you can find our application criteria on our portal or on our Discord. We will be beginning the interview review process shortly after the applications close. It is a manual process, so this isn't automated. So it will take us a little bit of time, but you know, if you have applied, keep an eye on your emails after that date. We hope to get acceptance emails out within 2 weeks from when the applications close. So once again, the applications are still open. See our criteria for the applications on our portal and Discord pages.
Right. Yeah, so it's definitely important to keep an eye out. That's the key, right? Keep an eye out for your acceptance letter. So it would be a shame if we accepted and, you know, we didn't hear back from you. So make sure you keep an eye out on that.
Yeah, the design team, especially myself included, most, if not maybe all, of the Super Test feedback tickets that we get back and survey results do go through myself and the rest of the design team for vetting and getting some early results in terms of what we do next. So these are things that we look at anytime they come in.
I think it is Q&A time, but before we do that, why don't we go ahead and start another giveaway for our new Viesel tank.
One last giveaway, yes.
All right.
One more lucky winner for the Viesel 1A1 tow. Who's getting it?
It's going to be a user by the name of Bam1500, I believe.
Oh, awkward. I gotta go now.
I'm just kidding.
Rigged.
Here's the link again in case you need it. And good luck to all of you.
Good luck.
Let's see. Our first question here is from a user named Hydro0, and they say, can MOE percentages be added to individual tanks in the garage without going into the profile stats to see it?
Interestingly enough, hey, on the topic, we just came away from talking about Super Test. This was actually something we sent over to Super Test in terms of feedback on the tank stat panels and what's some critical and important information that's relevant to them there to help inform us what is, for us to redesign it if that's something we ever march forward to understand what is something that must maintain, what are things that could go, what sort of ordering should it change. So MOEs being and their percentages and progress being displayed on the tank stat card or somewhere within the garage screen did come up from Super Test, and we do also see that come often from the community as well. Right now, anything in terms of what we're trying to think about for the garage UI and the tank stat card, no changes or plans at this moment. We have all this feedback, and until we kind of re-envision how we want to handle a lot of this, which is a little bit further down the line, we will certainly keep in mind MOEs and its existence in the tank stat card. Because we do understand for players that want that visibility more surfaced directly into the garage rather than jumping over a few tabs to the profile tab. There is an improvement to be made there. But as always, this is a very UI heavy driven task. And so we have to prioritize a lot of the other tasks that we have at hand that we feel takes a little bit more priority, I suppose, and we feel more strongly about. So something, like I said, we'll keep that in mind. We understand the significance and desire for it.
Awesome. Next question here from the user by the name of MMCG. They're asking, is there an ETA on the return of the Leo 2AV?
One of my favorites. Well, tell you what, stay tuned. It might be making an appearance next month.
Awesome. Thank you
So
very
any
much.
Leopard 2AV fans out there, coming soon.
Coming soon to a World of Tanks near you. Next question from a username OK Illustrator. They're asking, currently when you upgrade your turret, it changes the ammo you previously had for your tank. Can this be changed so the turret upgrade doesn't affect which ammo type you're using?
We've had this challenge for quite a while. Truth of the matter is, when you mount a new turret to your tank, you're also mounting a new gun with it. That is why sometimes you might go into a tank in its modules loadout screen, and you'll see incompatible guns because you have to upgrade the turret. Guns have different stats based on the turrets that they are mounted onto. So an example of this is the amount of ammo on your gun that can mount with that turret. Hopefully that helps you understand why it needs to be reset, as this will prevent any issues that could potentially break the tank more data-wise.
Right. I know internally, at least, right? Like before tanks come out, sometimes issues like that do come up, right? Like maybe X tank gun could hold like 100 rounds, and then the new one only holds 15, and then the game just freaks out or something and explodes, right?
We've run into issues. Like, it happens once in a while, and our QA team does a great job catching a lot of these. Like the issues, things that get out into the live environment, know that for every one, there was probably 1,000 bugs caught by our QA team. So they are our guardians at the gates before we send content out there. So we do see internally breaks like this happen a lot in terms of ammo count differences, and thankfully most of these get caught. So, but yes, that is kind of the reasoning why we have to reset these things. It's just a measure to make sure these tanks don't break.
Awesome. Next question here from username Kellen. Would it be possible to reintroduce clan tags of disbanded clans back into the available pool?
Well, okay, so kind of a twofold question there. So we disbanded some clans because it had an inappropriate tag or something like that. So if we were just to open it up and say, hey, okay, these clans no longer exist, they were disbanded, this now opens that pool for the clan tags that we've been trying to capture and block from the game. By just unlocking that again, that kind of allows players to get those clan tags again. So that's one thing that we're trying to avoid. But to say, yes, there's some older clans that have good clan tags that may no longer be available because they were claimed, but they're not actually playing anymore. We understand that it would have been nice to be able to reclaim those, but unfortunately, it's a very manual process. So not until we can get something a bit more automated or an improvement to the system that can handle this, to separate forcibly disbanding the clans from normally disbanded clans, we will have to build a system that allows for that. To be clear, this would be something in the very far future. So if possible, if the team isn't already busy with a lot of other priorities, it is something when we want to focus a little bit more on the clan initiatives and maybe even clan leaderboards, we'll keep this as a suggestion in mind.
Awesome. Just give me 1 second here.
No worries. We catching up on the incoming set of questions.
Yep, new incoming set of questions. Here we go. Question from Beach Birder asking, will we ever be able to switch one skill on the commander for 10 gold like we used to?
No current plans. This has come up a few times. There is a ticket for kind of investigation and seeing whether or not this is something we want to pursue. It's a little bit lower on the end of priorities. But we do, not quite the same answer, not what you're looking for, but we do have a respec discount that will be starting next week.
Okay. Next question here from Smile for Shaheen, asking, the resolution monthly campaign has not been tracking players' progress to log in 7 days in a row in particular.
Interesting. So to our knowledge, I mean, the task is being tracked correctly. It is important to remember that this is based on server days, which is based in the UTC time zone. So you may be getting just a little bit of confusion or miscommunication going by your own time zone, which starts and stops at different times what we had our servers set to. It is also worth noting that it will display the longest streak you currently have. So if you made it to, say, 3 days in a row, but missed and have to start over, it will still display 3 as your current longest streak. You'll need to beat that before you start to see an updated new value applied.
Sounds great. Hopefully that answers your issue there, Mr. Shaheen. Next question here from a username Ninja Kick. They're saying that the damage done by the FE 4003 Centurion AVRE seems a little bit much. Is there anything that we can do to nerf it? Okay. I know the Centurion AVRE has been a very large topic of discussion lately as well. What I will share in terms, we took a brief look at some of the averages and the damage standing, et cetera, for the AVRE in particular. Kind of looking at some of the other tanks of that tier range as well, or similar play styles, like say the FE 4005 or the Grill. I will point out that right now the AVRE is actually sitting at the lower end for average damage dealt by the tank itself when comparing to the Grill or the FE 4005. It's kind of in the middle range along with all the other tier 10 tanks. Believe it or not, it's sitting at a pretty decent 50% win rate. Now, mind you, this is also a case where we have to let this tank kind of live in the ecosystem a little bit longer before we start to consider, does it actually need any sort of nerfs or buffs, etc. Same way we treat most of our tanks. What I will call out here, though, because I do understand that players are seeing this tank a lot and are noticing that there's a feeling that this tank might be overperforming or OP, etc. It is flooding the matchmaker. We have an influx of a lot more players getting this tank very easily available because it is available to you if you purchase the season pass. So yes, you are seeing much more AVREs out there. And so right now, when we are just looking at the average damages, it seems like it's in a good spot. We will revisit this conversation a few weeks later to see if, in fact, it does seem a little bit OP. We got to let it kind of level out a little bit. What I will lastly just kind of point out here is the number of players playing the AVRE since its debut is slowly kind of trickling down a little bit. So we got to let that kind of level out, and then we'll kind of revisit if there's any sort of changes absolutely necessary. This is something the tank design team is keeping an eye on, as with any sort of new tank release. So again, I know everyone's
been kind of thinking about it. So here to say that we'll continue monitoring and adjust if need be, and we'll try our best to provide that transparency when that does come.
Awesome. Sounds great. Next question here from Deep Six. They're asking, is there any way that we can show what upgraded guns will do, even though it is not compatible with that turret?
So, I mean, in our game now, no. The system does not allow for this. However, you can make use of our Tankopedia on the portal, where you can view the stats and select different modules and see how it impacts everything.
Excellent. Next question here from Nate Unix asking, any updates on the plan for additional missiles for the Object 934 and a T-62M1? They carry too few missiles that load slowly compared to Chinese premium counterparts.
Interesting. I will admit that this is the first I'm hearing of a request like this. So no, there is no current plans to add more missiles to those tanks in particular. What I will say, with the Valiant season, we have made a series of some Cold War balance updates to select tanks. And our lead tank designer is planning some more balance updates as we march into the next season as well. So this might be something I can bring to attention, let him know of that suggestion and request, see if that the data warrants increasing the ammunition for missiles. Otherwise, like I said, nothing currently in the plan.
Next question from the user Castorenta. They're asking, will you move the MBT-70 tank from rank 3 to rank 2? Because with these parameters, it is only suitable for the second rank.
Sorry, no plans for this. It is currently doing pretty well, sitting at a nice level 50% win rate with an average damage output with 2,886. So in terms of data wise, everything is looking pretty decent currently for the MBT-70.
Next question here from Grolsch. How many missiles does a Viesel have?
It'll be carrying 24 ATGMs. And after the stream, as noted earlier, you will be able to see all the vehicle stats available in our article.
Bloody War Llama is asking, there is a 4-barrel 120 millimeter version of the ELC Even 90 that was part of its trials. Any chance that we can see this in the future?
I mean, possibly. It's not currently on our tank production list. And I'm assuming here you are asking this to be added to the Cold War. Perhaps.
I would assume so. Next question here from Meme Master. They're asking, I got a question about wargaming. When is Japan and France coming to Cold War?
Okay, a French line of tanks coming this year. Japan, I will state, nothing currently planned due to a lack of tanks to form a full line. So, yes.
All right. I mean, we're halfway there, so I like that. Question here from Drew. When is the Rudy going to be moved to Poland?
Well, no current plans to change the nation of this tank. So it is what it is for right now.
Question here from Max Miner Tinker. Can you add haze or fog to Karelia in Cold War? It is too easy to shoot from spawn to spawn immediately as the match starts. Although extreme weather would be better to reduce radio range as well.
I like this suggestion. This came up in conversation a few times. As some of our players might remember, we used to have maps such as Prohorovka and Highway also available in Cold War. Ultimately, we decided to pull it out due to the true vision and visibility sight lines, being able to fire from spawn to spawn. We do a lot of internal testing, and we even run this by super test to help catch maps that might not work too well. Early on, Karelia, we kind of thought, well, this might be an issue where spawn-to-spawn firing is going to be a concern. But after getting some feedback from super tests and desire to help increase our roster of maps into Cold War, we agreed that actually this would be a great candidate to keep in rotation. What I will state that I've been talking with our level designer about what improvements we can do to bring these maps, maps like Prohorovka and Highway back to Cold War, and consider maps, like you said, in Karelia, make it more viable and reduce the issue of seeing enemies from spawn to spawn. So your suggestion is is pretty much aligned as to some of the conversations we're having. No timetables that I could provide of something like that coming into the game, but I'll let you know we're having some conversations about addressing solutions to that.
Let's see. Next question. Can we have more player reports a day?
Oh boy, no plans on that. Right now we are at 5 reports a day that can be submitted, which is generally enough for most players. Having access to so much more can cause a lot of toxic reporting behavior, to just report people because maybe you were killed, which is, I mean, it's going to happen. It's a tank game. It's a lot of teams against teams. So we want to make sure players use them wisely and keep it just to the legitimate reports. Again, we have a customer service representative department that goes through these things, and we don't want to inundate them with false reports or things that are wasting time, in which we miss out on the legitimate reports that matter.
All right. Next question from user Plum73. Is there a chance that we get any info on new contracts that are coming next week?
We just talked about it earlier in our stream today. The premium contract for the Legion 59 patent.
Awesome. Flamingo Gaming 45 is asking, can we get a penalty system for people who kill themselves at the end of battle?
Are we talking about like people who are drowning themselves like purposely, or doing something,
so, yeah.
or dropping off a cliff? So we do have a penalty in which when someone does suicide, the other team, well, okay, you're talking about your own team. Like, oh, great, that person could have withstand or helped out a little bit more. So yeah, I mean, there is a punishment for quitting early, but if people are like suiciding themselves or unsporting conduct, you can use the in-game reporting system. Because otherwise, what we do is we give some earnings to the opposite team because someone decided to do that on that team.
Next question here is regarding any more information on artillery modifications.
RD 2.0, a conversation we haven't dived back into since the launch of the Valiant season, right? So we mentioned this at the launch, that the new artillery matchmaking system is what we currently have in place. That was the only changes that we kind of addressed and made since the Allegiance season. And just a reminder as to what that is kind of doing, we're trying to better force matches to have a minimum, not a minimum, but a maximum of 1 arty per team. But that's also dependent on the population of people that are in the queue. So if we have a backup of players waiting to get in from arty, that's when we have to dynamically set the queue to say, okay, let's start getting the arty players into matches. That means we'll have to unlock it and allow for at least for a maximum of 2 arty per team, or in circumstances we may have to push to 3 arty per team. But for the most part, the matchmaker is working harder to try and keep it to 1 arty per team, if any at all. So, but nothing to really address or make mention of right now of any sort of new steps. I will follow up and kind of see any new data that's worth sharing, and kind of going over, any behavior changes or what match changes kind of came about with the matchmaker dynamic arty handling that we put in. But right now, we have no news to share. I'll keep that on the docket for maybe next week.
Sounds good. Next question from Plum73, and they're asking, are there any rewards or special bonuses for those who are super testers?
No actual rewards are being given to Super Test. This is a complete voluntary program. The only reward is being able to help shape the game with your feedback.
The game you love and you want to help build, a better game. Yeah, it's awesome. Burnsy 2020, can we get mercenary contracts for Cold War?
A touch too early to announce anything just yet. Later this year, we have plans to introduce some new mercenaries, and I think I'll just have to leave it at that.
Maxzilla 1998, what is the percentage of Westfield in rotation? I barely see it.
Okay, so we have made improvements to a lot of our matchmaker and map rotation and how it works, especially with this new season. And shout out to Mr. SPG. I know you're out in the chat right now, who's done a lot of the big strides and functionality that got the map rotation changes in. Right now, there's more or less an equal distribution in terms of how you encounter maps in rotation, but we do have plans to kind of shake it up a little bit as well. We will choose select maps to be in higher frequency in rotation. And right now, since the launch of the season, we do have Airfield in higher frequency. So Westfield is just kind of on par with all the other maps that are in that tier range, or the acceptable tier range that Westfield is applicable to. So we don't have it any lower in percent than any other maps, but Airfield is higher than the rest.
Sounds great. Like this name, Yippee is asking, could we see tier 8? Can we see tier 8s, OBJ 274A and the 122 anytime soon?
Apologies, but neither tank is currently on our schedule at this time. So another time.
Another time. Kid Rob's asking, can the shell speed of the M50 Altos be increased?
Another thing, just no plans right now. We had done some previously round buffs to the tank, and it is currently performing pretty well, sitting at a 50.5% win rate, and is more or less in the middle of the pack when it comes to kind of the average damage output. We'll continue to monitor. This is another example of something that at least we're not aware of that might be player requests or concerns about it. So something I can bring to attention to our lead tank designer. This may or may not be on his docket for updates in the next season. We shall see.
Flashback Streets is asking, will tier 1 and tier 2 tanks return?
Unfortunately, no. Those tanks are retired. We don't have plans to bring them back. If you were with us years back when they were available, you can still use those tanks. They're not just like put in the garage permanently. You can queue in and you can launch into smaller sized matches, mostly probably with bots. But we don't have plans to return them for purchase by any real means. On select occasions, we did do some events where there's like a set of premium tier 2 tanks that we might put on sale. No plans or events that I can make mention or announce today. But yeah, tier 1 and 2 tanks returning, not on our plans.
Several ninjas on this stream. This one here is Jackpot Ninjas, and they're asking, when you buy a bundle, when you own one of the tanks already, can you display what the gold refund amount would be?
Well, so how the refund system currently works, it doesn't have the data needed until after the purchase is simply made and processed. Because we do run events as well where we have discounts on certain tanks, etc. So that's not something that can dynamically be displayed with the refund. So unfortunately, it's not something that will be available on purchase. It just has to calculate during the process.
I drink beers asking, pausing paging keeps resetting after each battle. Can the devs do something in settings to prevent this?
Yeah, I thought we had actually addressed that. There's likely a ticket still out there because I know this came by us in design. We'll see where this is at, and maybe we did address it, but there's still some sort of repro that wasn't caught and it's still impacting some player accounts. So we'll try to follow up on that.
Dumpling Wanders is asking, can you please give the pirate commander the R voice on the reload, like the bear, when it growls?
I remember when we celebrated back in September, the Pirates Day, Talk Like a Pirates Day, and that's when we brought our pirate Jolly Roger Commander in. I think that question came up quite a bit, and we joked, but also at the same time kind of said to ourselves, "That's a really good idea."
R.
So yeah, we'll keep this in mind as we continue to think about some more custom voiceovers for future commanders.
Sounds awesome. Plum 73, I'm sorry, is asking, is there a chance for a contract or an event for a black tank, please?
Ooh, I mean, those we keep very close and to the exclusivity of. Usually, we launch those during our Black Friday sales once per year. Nothing. I will be quite honest with you. We will still aim for that kind of cadence release. So no plans to run any sort of different events throughout the year or contracts to be able to obtain those black tanks. They are meant to kind of maintain that rarity and that excitement once per year, the way we release them currently.
Meme Master's asking, can the 5X tank and 2X silver and 6X boosters always be on sale? That would be awesome.
Well, that would be nice. These being kind of our highest modifiers in the game, we got to keep them kind of in limited release and typically try to put it as part of special sales events as well. So, I mean, that's all we can say is when we announce them and you see them in the store, like if you're willing and able, stock up on them because they may not be there too long.
Awesome. Question here from this Mad to Death. Any updates on the girls in Panzer tanks?
This comes down to the same argument and reasoning for anything licensed. We have to hold a lot of meetings with the IP holders, get the licensing and the ability to resell these tanks in the game. So unfortunately, no plans right now. We still have to work some details out if there are plans to make these available. But as mentioned above, not the same as Girls und Panzer, but we do have the Edelweiss and Nameless as part of the Valkyria Chronicles. So there's some licensed vehicle deals that we do have coming in the near future. So that's all we can really provide, at least at this time.
Awesome. I just saw this fly by. Happy birthday, Jeremy. So happy birthday, Jeremy.
Happy birthday, Jeremy. If you're out there in the chat, happy birthday. Happy birthday to anybody whose birthday's today, perhaps.
Yeah.
Rinton 197, Cold War medals. We are aware that this has been requested by players quite a bit. Happy to say, yes, we are working on something internally. Nothing to announce in terms of release dates or say what kind of content is coming, but we know that this is something players want in Cold War. Yes, we are working on it.
I see Jeremy says, yay. So, yay. Another question here from Missing Phantom Xbox. They're asking, any chance you could turn up the engine volume for tanks? Sometimes I only hear the track noise and it doesn't match well.
Well, so our audio team has it set up based on the distance and where you are at with your camera to add to the immersion. So if you are inside the vehicle and you're going into the sniper cam view, right, the audio sounds a little bit more like what you would expect when you're inside a tank. All the audio was recorded, in fact, from real tanks.
I can verify. I've seen lots of videos of them doing their Foley artist stuff, holding microphones to a bunch of tanks and tank engines and tank tracks, which seems pretty neat. I think we still have a giveaway going here, don't we?
We got a pending winner for the Viesel 1A12. I do believe you're right.
Before we do that, one final question here from
Sure.
Flashback Street. Will the War Stories campaign return?
Unfortunately, not. I know this one comes up quite often as well. This it's sad to say because I know this was a lot of people were fans of this mode and really enjoyed this kind of story building off of it. With a lot of there was many reasons for cutting this content into the game. Its usability by a number of players kind of dropped. And so that was kind of one reason. It's hard to support something into the game in which a lot of players weren't really leveraging or having taken time to check it out. It's a single player or a co-op experience. It kind of one and done. So most kind of played it and then moved on back to the multiplayer-like experience. Two, as we started to think about returning maps into the game, etc., those are all like campaigns built on pre-existing maps, but with a lot of assets kind of poured into it, new maps built around it as well. And that increased a lot of the file sizes onto the game. So we kind of had a balancing act here of what was kind of more important. And so if we needed to save some players a certain data size, because believe it or not, so many of you out there might have a lot of data on your hard drive to be able to host as much data as the game grows, but that's not true for everybody. And we have to be very conscious of players with smaller disk sizes on their consoles. So that's just another reason. And then another thing I wanted to elaborate a little bit on was our improvements to our bots and our AI system and how we do all the navigation for our bots in the game. When we included the new PvE co-op mode for both World War II and Cold War, our bots have gotten a lot smarter in terms of how they work in the game and how they interact with the players. The way we set them up in the campaigns, there was a lot of go here, go there to direct objective points. And we had to really set a lot of instructions that have become more or less legacy at this point, and we no longer update that functionality. So when we got the new AI bot functionality from the whole co-op experience, we would have to do a lot of, what's the term I'm looking for here? A lot of backpedaling to take that functionality to make it work in the war stories. And that would have to be addressed across all the war stories altogether, which is no easy, it's no easy task to get done in a short amount of time.
I like the part where you said that, just trying to keep file sizes lower than, they could have been if we retained all this stuff. So that's pretty neat. All right, let's take a look at our winner here. Enough of the waiting. I know you all want to get your hands on this tank here, and the winner is Janspa. Congratulations, Janspa. You are a lucky winner.
Congratulations.
That is our final winner for today.
Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to pick up on things in the chat right now. Let's see. X Grulsh X. Will there be more old maps revamped and expanded for Cold War or World War II, like you did with Hellfire Pass? Would also be cool to see smaller maps expanded for Cold War. This is another conversation that, yes, I had with our level design to see what we could potentially think about applying this into the game in the future and what's kind of reasonable. Hellfire Pass is a perfect example because I know we recently had to make the decision to pull that from World War II because it led to poor gameplay experience. It is our biggest map in the game. And there is opportunity to look into mirroring how we used to have that map when it was formerly called Scorpion Pass years back. And then, yeah, seeing smaller maps expanded for Cold War. Funny you should mention that. If you guys were around for our Extra Life last year, that was when we started talking about what would the next community map initiative be. And we pitched two options to you, the players, of which direction you wanted us to develop for. One idea was, of course, the current community map, which we're kind of pitching it as a urban coastline war-torn theme map. And that's the one that we are continuing to develop with you, the players. The other option, which we decided to postpone for now and maybe reconsider for another time, was an expanded map of mines, where we kind of expand the north and south and eastern borders of the map to make it viable for high tiers as well as Cold War. That is no easy task to just bring the borders out, there is a lot of ramifications that we have to keep in mind, both for gameplay balance, interesting gameplay spaces, and still maintaining the meta of what the central part of those maps contain, because we never know what you might be changing on the periphery of the maps, what impact that will have on the center of the maps. Not saying it's impossible. There's just a lot of what ifs and things that we have to figure out on how to do it right before we can really commit to a direction. So, smaller maps is harder to expand upon, but taking larger maps and shrinking them down, again, something we're talking about. There are other challenges that come with it. The biggest one being that some maps, when we bring in the borders a little bit, we might be creating more avenue dead ends, where it used to lead to certain routes for flanking under different avenues, but now it's just kind of an awkward dead end. So those are other things that we kind of have to address. Again, it's not impossible. It's just things that we are talking about and thinking how best to go about it.
Awesome. Alrighty, Mr. Bam. I think that wraps it up for us this week. Is there anything else on your end you'd like to share here?
I know people keep asking about what's the next map coming after Swamp. Here's what I'll say. We'll start thinking about dropping some hints once we unlock the map Swamp. How about that?
All right.
I know players want to know what's coming up next, but let's come back to that conversation once Swamp is in the rotation. Let's do that.
That's good. All right, everyone. Well, I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Thank you very much for coming and visiting us here at World of Tanks, Modern Armor. And let's go ahead and take a look at our wonderful trailer one more time. And for those that are on Twitch, stick around and we'll go raid one of our community contributors. Until next time, see you on the battlefield. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody, and have a great weekend.